Hey mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, hey! Today's episode 4 of Avoidance Steve, my series that I made on this channel where I talk about pop culture, news, etc. I guess it's not a frequent series, but it's a series, so yeah. Okay mi gente, okay. We're going to start now. The first person we're going to be talking about is Lyles. If you do not know who is Lyles is a track and field Olympic world champion, and basically he has been very popular when it comes to the Olympics. People have a few criticisms about him. I'm going to talk a bit about it right now. So the first criticism was like, about a year ago, he made a controversial comment about how the NBA isn't a part of world championships in Budapest. There was like a world champion that year. Yeah, he said a controversial comment about that, about the NBA championships not being equivalent to the Olympic World Championships.
You know, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times, but that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
And of course, people got offended. In my opinion, I do not think it's that serious, and I'm saying this as a person who's not a big fan of the NBA, because I'm not really into sports like that, unless if it's like my friends and we talk about it here and there, and or if my friends, because I have a couple of friends who are athletes, men and women, so I guess like if it comes to that, yes, we talk about sports or we talk about fitness, but my point is it's not something I really care about, but I guess I get a bit of the criticism because it's like people are disrespecting your craft, your craftsmanship, specifically when it comes to the basketball athletes being offended, and specifically legendary basketball players. But then at the other side of things, I feel like it's weird when you see people that are older getting triggered by somebody who is 27, because, well, at the time, Noah was 26 when he said these comments. And the fact that they getting mad over a 27-year-old's opinion, I don't know. And to this day, people keep bringing it up too. I'm like, come on. Most of the people complaining about Noah, they are in their early to late 30s and even older than that. And of course, yeah, there are younger people complaining about him too. But I've noticed when it comes to like celebrities, well, specifically NBA players, I noticed a majority that were criticizing Noah, they in their 30s, close to their 40s. I'm like, come on. And like I said, I get the frustrations, I get it, but at the same time, it's not that serious, in my opinion. It's not that serious. But then again, people do take sports very seriously. Noah himself does too, because we're gonna talk about another issue that happened recently with him. Like, as a matter of fact, I follow Noah on Instagram, and his recent post has a bunch of comments about his championships comments and people trying to make fun of him because he got a bronze on the, I think it was a 200 meter. Yes, 200 meter, I have it in my notes. But I'm gonna talk about that in a bit right now. On Tuesday, August 6th, Noah caught COVID-19 and raced on Thursday, August 8th. He did the 200 race and won bronze, meaning he won third place. Well, people in his comment section were making it clear that he won bad and tried to throw it back into his face due to the comments he made about the NBA players. You guys are probably like, Julian, come on. Okay, first off, Noah, I give you props for competing while having COVID. However, was it the right thing to do? In my opinion, no, because now he puts his colleagues on risk, even though his coach knew that he had COVID. A few other people knew that he had COVID too. However, the people he raced with, it seemed like they found out that he had COVID the day of the race, which is, in my opinion, very irresponsible. And it's a safety hazard because COVID-19 right now is rapiding up in numbers again, which is very concerning. And I feel like we need to take the virus seriously. I understand that people do not want to wear masks and or take more vaccines, but we do need to take it seriously. But for what it looks like, it seems like Noah has been taking the precautions seriously. However, I did see like a couple of clips. He hugged the athletes. I get it, I guess they wanted to have an embrace, you know, hug each other, give handshakes, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to you being sick, in my opinion, you shouldn't be racing. Sure, some people were saying that, yeah, but he was diagnosed on Tuesday, and then by Thursday, he probably was almost better, because now it takes about 5 to 7 days to recover for COVID. But the issue is that he still was sick. Even if he wasn't as sick as before, he still was sick. Some people are saying conspiracy theories that he wasn't sick. I do not believe it. I believe he was sick because honestly, for what I saw and for what I read, it seemed like he was genuinely sick. And I guess people that do not like him, they want to see his downfall, which is weird in my opinion, especially when I see black people doing it. And I get it because majority of the people I think everyone on track this year, everybody's black. I get that. But it gets weird when I see all these diaspora wars happening and people trying to pit black people against each other. I get it, sports is competitive regardless of race. It gets weird when I see black people doing it more. Don't get me wrong, there are people regardless of race doing it. I see in the comments, and it's getting weird. Then when you think about it, Noah won, I believe, 2 races. He won, yeah, I believe Noah won 2 races recently before he got the bronze. So that's not bad. But people are throwing it, hey, ha, 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 you was talking so much shit, so now you got the bronze instead of getting the highest trophy. And once again, that's sportsmanship. I get it. But some of you guys are taking it too far for my taste. Ice Spice's album sales. So if you did not see episode 3 of Avoidance Steve, which by the way, you should watch it, I talked about Ice Spice not doing the best in comparison to previously when it comes to like her single sales and then the new album coming out. And as I projected, the album debuted not high enough. It debuted at number 18 on the Billboard 200 charts, and it sold 28,000 equivalent copies. That's not bad, but it's not good, especially for a debut album. And then this is not a mixtape nor EP. This is a debut album. So when you think about that, it is a bit concerning, especially for a new artist like Ice Spice. And then her single, it's called Hit It First or something. I forgot the name. The point is, her single with Central C, The Minstrel Show, is at number 51, I think, or in the top 60 on the Hot 100, the US Hot 100. And yes, I do not like Central C. Yes, I'm not a big fan of Ice Spice, but when you see like what I talked about on the previous video, the previous episode of Avoidance Steve, you will see that a lot of my predictions were correct, but also it shows the fact that Bronx artists are not as popular as before. There's a decline. So I don't know if it's concerning, but it's like more like a damn, the Bronx is losing bad. And these artists are going to have to step their game up, in my opinion. If Ice Spice evolves as an artist, I maybe consider to support her. Maybe, and that's a stretch, because I only like 1 to 2 songs of hers. That's it. So she needs to step her game up. But then I also have an issue with Ice Spice because some of the stuff she does, like messing around with Central C, The Minstrel Show, her comments when it comes to colorism and having more privileges than dark-skinned black women, and then her just doing the bare minimum on the stage, and or doing the bare minimum in general. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot of effort for me to end up supporting Ice Spice. Madisyn Brown criticism. So this is gonna be, I guess, the one that I definitely tried to avoid talking about on here, but we have to. So if you're not familiar, Madisyn Brown is a YouTuber, and she's been on YouTube since 2020. Long story short, she has made a couple of interesting comments here and there that have been ruffling some people's feathers. And now we're here. So I'm going to try to explain a bit more in detail. So basically, YouTuber Rumi, aka I Am Emergency, I probably saying his channel name wrong, but Rumi, he announced that he's making a podcast with Madisyn, and a couple of people weren't content with that. I've been keeping track of the comments on his posts. I do see people have issues with Madisyn because of comments she made previously. So Madisyn made comments about autism, and they were very backhanded, and she put out misinformation, and also she like disqualified black people's experiences with autism instead of reaching out and trying to see from broader perspectives, and or trying to learn more instead of projecting her issues with people diagnosing her with autism.
Autism is becoming more normalized and people are more open about it, but...
So I just watched Madisyn Brown's video called Everyone Got Autism, and what you just saw was the TLDR version of that video. But I watched the entire video on YouTube, and I do have some thoughts. There are some things that I agree with in the video about how white autistics try to use their autism to separate themselves from whiteness. And as a black autistic person who's been in the same room as other white autistics who've done stuff like this, it's very annoying. But what I don't agree with is your thoughts about how autism is being more normalized. You said that people are trying to normalize autism, but you also said that people are also trying to normalize herpes, and nobody's saying that I am herpes positive on their social media. And that part honestly makes me feel uncomfortable. It may not be your intention to compare the two, but autism is not something that someone could get. It is something that a person is born with. And the reason why we say autism and proud and we're happy to be ourselves is because a lot of people try to speak over us. Like you said, we only represent 1% of the world population. I mean, it got to a point where autistic companies like Autism Speaks were saying that autism is the worst thing that could ever happen to a family member's life. And that is why stuff like autism representation matters, not only on the screens, but also in the medical field and education. That is my personal thoughts about your video as a Black autistic man, and I hope you learn more about autism. Okay, here's the update about the Madisyn Brown situation. So Madisyn Brown made a very messed up video about autism on her YouTube. So I made some videos about it, and she was the one who contacted me yesterday. She said that she deleted her video, and I decided to delete my videos because she told me to. But today, I heard from some people that her video is still up on Patreon, and that it's only a Patreon-only YouTube video. So I told her about what I heard, and I asked her why did she give me a half-truth. And you know how she responded? I was blocked. And to be honest with you, I don't feel any anger. I just feel hurt and pain. She was one of my favorite YouTubers, and I thought that she would be open to listening to me into the autistic community, but I realized that she used me just so I could be quiet. The videos will be back up soon, but this really breaks my heart.
And I get the criticism. I'm saying this as a person who does watch Madisyn as well. I believe that Madisyn does make mistakes here or there, which is, normal. I've made a few mistakes on my channel too, and I do correct them. And if I need to give an apology, I give it. And or you mistakenly got it wrong research, which is why people are suggesting more for content creators when it comes to spreading misinformation and or giving more facts, more resources. That's why I try with my content to make sure I have the facts, make sure I have the resources, because at that point, no one can be like, this is wrong, because I could be like, well, according to this, according to that, according to this video, you're wrong. I got all the receipts. I get it, but at the same time, there's just so much you can do, especially as an independent content creator, without making so many mistakes when it comes to research. So I need people to understand nobody's perfect in that area, but at the same time, Madisyn could have done better when it comes to speaking up for people with autism and not offending other groups of people, like people that identify as non-binary. So I do believe that we as content creators need to try our best to make sure we don't spread misinformation, and then if we do, we apologize to the public, whether on a video and or on a community tab post. But then at the same time, not everybody's like that. In this case, Madisyn, she doesn't like to speak, I guess, to like address things publicly, because it's like, why would I want to do that, And then when it goes back to Rumi, I feel like people put Rumi in a uncomfortable box, because at the end of the day, he's cool with Madisyn, they close friends. Of course, it's going to be harder for him to receive the criticism and then say something in the comments, because a couple of people will point out that he was avoiding comments, but at the same time, people need to understand that Rumi's Madisyn's friend. It's going to be harder for him to separate his friendship with his coworker, because now they have a podcast together and they're working as a team. So it's gonna be harder for him. And I feel like people gotta understand and give a bit of grace. And then Rumi's not a troublemaker. Rumi tries his best to make sure that he tries to be nuanced with his topics. And I feel like people, they were being too harsh on Rumi, Because Rumi, like I said, he's not problematic, he's not a troublemaker. He just does his job on YouTube and keeps doing whatever he gotta do outside of YouTube too. You all can have a criticism of Madisyn without cherishing Rumi's credibility as a content creator. Nelly was arrested. On August 7th, Nelly was arrested at a St. Louis, Missouri casino. He was arrested for allegedly having some form of a drug. I believe it was I think. I'm not even sure if I can say it. If not, I'm a ding, you know. But yeah, he had a specific drug that I mentioned earlier. And because of that, he got arrested. I mean, this isn't the first time Nelly has been arrested when it comes to drug-related stuff. Back in April 2015, he was arrested for drug-related issues. Then in October 2017, Nelly was arrested for a different crime, this time for SAing a woman. And because of him allegedly SAing this woman, they ended up going to court and Nelly settled for an undisclosed amount of money between him and the woman. Yeah. And keep in mind, he was recently on tour with Janet Jackson, and I saw him when I went to the Barclays Center. So it's very interesting how things work. At this point, you do not know what to believe in because Nelly's doing one thing, then the police, the court system, and then everyone else accusing him of doing certain stuff or saying another thing. So at this point, yeah. I was going to talk about one more topic, but due to timing, we're gonna end it here. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Tell me, what do you think about Noah Lyles? What do you think about Ice Spice's album sales? What do you think about Madisyn Brown's criticism? And what do you think about Nelly? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, respectfully. Please check out my previous videos if you haven't. Okay, mi gente? Okay, mi gente? Okay. Thank you and peace, mi gente.